The tomato wasn't grown in Europe until the 1590s, when William Shakespeare was in his 20s. Across Europe, the tomato was feared as a plant that was thought could kill you. So why did people think the tomato was poisonous? Let's find out right now on That Shakespeare Life. It's widely reported that the first time tomatoes made it to Europe was actually with Cortez, who had visited the Aztec Empire. I use that word visited really loosely, but he went to the Aztec Empire and he saw them growing in Montezuma's gardens. So he brought seeds back to Spain, and they were grown in Spain as a novelty item, something to just decorate your house or show off to your friends. But it wouldn't actually be until the 18th century, a good 200 years after the life of William Shakespeare, that Europeans would start eating the tomato as food. In fact, for Shakespeare's lifetime, in John Gerard's Herbal from 1597, which is a great place to find out what people from Shakespeare's lifetime thought about different foods and plants and animals, he actually said that the tomato was not something that you needed to eat, and that the stems and leaves in particular were poisonous. He called them of rank and stinking savor. Now, there's a huge debate online amongst people who ought to know, because I tried to find an answer to, are tomato stems and leaves toxic? Because I've never wanted to eat them myself. I think they stink, but I didn't know. And I looked it up, and it turns out even today, there's no consensus about whether or not those parts of the plant are actually toxic to people. You can find people that say they are, and other people say they aren't. So if we're still debating that today, you can only imagine what the tomato's reputation must have been like for Shakespeare's lifetime, when the plant was completely new to them altogether. For Shakespeare's lifetime, the tomato was nicknamed a poisoned apple because of its red color and similarity to an apple. And wealthy Europeans who ate the tomato did actually have several instances of getting sick or even dying from having eaten the tomato. So they had a basis for thinking the tomato was poisonous, but it wasn't actually the fruit that was killing them. Their material for choice for making their plates, the things that they ate off of, was a material called pewter, which is very high in lead. And the acid content from the tomato would react with the pewter and pull the lead out into the tomato. So then if you ate it, well, now you are being poisoned, because lead is highly toxic to humans. But they didn't put it together that it was the plates instead of the tomato that was causing the problem, so tomatoes carried the bad rap. Now, tomatoes were grown in the New World when people from Europe started colonizing what is now the United States. You'll see it was grown there in the early 17th century, but it was sporadic. It wasn't widely placed, because a lot of the people that were coming from places like Britain, who had this well-defined fear of tomatoes, didn't want to grow them. And that's why you'll see them showing up in much more rural areas, like the southern portion of the United States, where the tomato would actually go on to be a huge crop during and after the Civil War, because it was more popular down there. So if you were to visit Shakespeare in his hometown of Stratford-upon-Avon, things like spaghetti bolognese or caprese salad would not be anywhere on the menu. That's it for this week. I'm Cassidy Cash. I hope you learned something new about the bar.